That will take agenda item 4, which is consideration of a bid award for the Hafens Park splash pad with possible action. Mr. Tanner.
Mayor, members of the council, we advertised and opened bids for a Hafen Lane splash pad on.
Can you get the mic, please?
We had opened the bids for the Hafen Lane splash pad. We had one bid. That bid was by Trade West Construction in the amount of $930,056. I provided to you the packet with the funding from CDBG grant funds and recommend to approve that at that $930,000. I provided some backup information, and I'm here to answer any questions anyone may have.
Thank you, Mr. Tanner. Any questions for Mr. Tanner? Councilman Littman?
First question I have for Mr. Tanner is, after looking over all the materials on this particular project, can you tell me the square footage of this project when completed?
The square footage of the splash pad itself is 4,900 square feet. That includes the water play area, I believe, and the splash pad area.
Okay, that answers the question of the size of it. The next question I have, I spent considerable time over the last 10 days researching splash pads from virtually every state that has one, based on square footage, based on accoutrements, so forth that come with them. They seem to average across the United States on the high end about $61 a square foot. Not counting the bathroom facility that's being brought in. How do we justify a cost that's virtually double plus this?
Well, we have.
In other words, what are we getting in this splash pad that makes it so unique?
One of the things in this splash pad and the design of it went from a flow-through system to a recycle system. So we're getting a state-of-the-art recycle system with water, and we're able to save on the cost of water. And that was one of the options that they talked about early on, was that the annual usage of water for Hafen Park with a flow-through system would have about $110,000 to $140,000 just in annual water costs, not including power. So the decision was made in 2012 to move to a recycle system that would save those costs, along with capital cost of impact fees that we would have to pay to upsize our lines. So we would have upfront construction costs plus operating costs of $140,000 for water plus power. So the decision was made to go to a flow-through system. With that flow-through system, the original bid had a pond pump in it for $169,000 and some drainage that ran under the park, which I thought was not a very good idea. So that was the item I brought back in December, was asking council to move forward with some minor changes on the drainage, a wall, and go back out for bid. And using those numbers, bid prices that we got from the original bid, we had an engineer's estimate of about $800,000 for everything, which would give the community the top of the line of what was requested and asked for, not bidding alternates that would have a restroom or not a restroom, possibly one pump, not a runnel or a runnel. We broke these projects up before in the past, and in my opinion, they weren't very successful. We get a lot lower priced project, but we also get a way lower product. The bids did come in higher than we anticipated. Utilizing the 2012 bids, as we evaluated them, they all seemed pretty reasonable compared to the other prices or the engineer's estimate, but the splash pad itself came in a little bit higher. I think about $100,000 higher. We don't know if that was increased costs for water nozzles, or I can't answer why that was, but that's what happened. A lot of companies will say they can build this for us, but they don't understand we're under CDBG grant funding requirements, which are Davis-Bacon and Clark County prevailing wage funds, which will increase the cost. That estimate's anywhere from 20 to 30%. We valued some splash pads in the past where the flow-through system works for them. And it works because they're watering a park with culinary water and spending, say, $100,000 a year watering the grass. Well, they can turn around and run that water through the splash pad, flow it through a sprinkler system and water their grass. They have no increased cost because they were already paying them. At Hafen Park, we haven't got that option. We have 100% reuse at Hafen Park. Our water bill is like $200 a month down there. Our power bill is really low. So that option in a lot of areas works. It didn't work with this one. We don't have any water costs down there right now. So we would have had to upgrade those connection fees and water costs. Maintenance costs, Councilman Withhelder questioned the maintenance cost. We did go through, and I pulled some out that I found. We had some new documentation that came from the engineer that I received last Tuesday after technical review. And we went through those. I have that information, but it's not in your packets anywhere. We've estimated anywhere from $16,000 to $23,000, depending on labor, how much we're paying the lifeguards and the labor cost, and also the usage. If we get high usage, we're going to have a little bit higher chlorine cost. Lower usage, we won't. Those things all take into play, but I believe the maintenance cost will be considerably lower with this system than with the flow-through system and our water fees.
That answers those questions. And the other question I have, I feel very uncomfortable with just one bid. I like to compare apples and apples or oranges and oranges sometimes. And with one bid, I just find it very difficult to reconcile that when we have so many people show up for a bidding process and receive only one. I know you can't answer why they didn't bid.
I can't answer why. I can answer that I wasn't a part of the original bid. With the original bid, we had two bidders, Trade West Construction and Perservanto Construction, I believe. We actually, I asked Tisha to try to contact them at least 5 times and notify them that we were bidding this again. We had never made contact with them. We don't know whether they're in business still or out of business. So even the contractor, one of them that bid the job last time, we can't even get a hold of him. Now, we did have 16 people show up to the pre-bid. A couple of them was from CDBG grant. It's hard to tell who your general contractors and who your subcontractors and your suppliers are. And they all show up and put their name down. So we do know that for a fact we had 3 general contractors that did show up for the pre-mandatory bid. And we only had 1 contractor bid. I can't answer why.
How many, another question, how many of these splash pads have Trade West put up before? Have they done any here, anywhere else?
They have. They've done, and their part of their bid proposal is they need to provide us that documentation, and they have. One of them they did, and I just talked to Tracy. I'm not sure if she's here, but I talked to her just a little while ago, and they did one, I believe, in Moapa, a couple in Las Vegas, and they're providing the rest of that documentation to us on the splash pads, the sizes, and what they consisted of. But I think with the preliminary information we have, we feel comfortable that they have provided and built at least a minimum of 3 of these in the past.
Commercial sized?
Commercial size, yes. With I think one was through Clark County. That might have been the Moapa.